insight into what might be on the top. Or the way you should be thinking about the article's factors in a lead log, or how many there are. We talked a lot about body language. What do you think when you see somebody dressed like
Is it on start?
It's fabulous.
Okay.
I'm on vacation. In Mexico, they think I'm a member of the leftist party, which is now split into 3 groups, all claiming this color. So I couldn't go visit a pre-governor or a past governor.
Is it the color or
One
the
is
star?
blue, the pre would be red, and this is the color of the PRD.
The color of the star.
And this is the color of hope and the color of life, goodness, and joy. They go a lot by color schemes because it wins over the people. The Americans think, oh, it looks like you're on a holiday. Other people say, hey, it looks like you just got out of jail. Or didn't I see you working on the highway in that shirt?
Caltrans orange.
Caltrans shirt.
Caltrans orange.
Yeah, Caltrans parolee.
Go, mommy, go.
Others say, well, eccentric professor, professors are supposed to be eccentric, I think. Or not. When I taught at Ohio State and did all my lectures in the East, I always had to wear a tie. It was so good to get out here where I could take off my tie. I never wore it again.
That's why you're wearing the guayabera all the time? It's better.
Yes, it's horrible dress in Mexico.
It's not like the street worker color, but it's nice.
Street look.
That's right, Caltrans
I'm
orange.
so sorry. Do you mind sitting here?
Caltrans orange.
Thank you so much. Sorry.
We're going to also pass out
Before
we turn everything over to Lazin.
Stay there,
Gustavo Gaston. Is it from the Beauty and the Beast? Gaston.
It kind of clarifies who the characters are, and on the back page, it clarifies, because this is a draft document, it clarifies who the last character is. The necrophilia cultist needs some explanation. So this will be passed out right now.
Jeffrey is a character in Michelle Wilkie's article, and he's a necrophiliac. Well, you're going to read for yourself. You're going to realize that he has an affair with his dead wife, actually.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, he would give up a live person, beautiful for that matter. Michelle is very beautiful. You're going to see for yourself. And just to have a silver plans with his dead wife on a high level of spirituality, whatever they invented for him. Yes. So here are some questions. We made out for you. It's review for your exam. How does today's meritocracy relate to the article on meritocracy that we have on Christopher Lash's book? And
This is based on...
which Peter Reich, the ex-secretary of Commerce for Clinton. That's a great article. Why does the pursuit of economic success have destructive consequences on Americans and in the American culture? That is the article on Christopher Lash. What is a small police? And do you think this could happen in the United States? What are some lessons you have drawn from the Fog of War, the great movie? On McNamara, what are the pheromones? Do plants have pheromones?
Wait, what are the pheromones, gang?
Yes, what are pheromones anyway? Yes, please.
I think it's like, I think plants do but I think it's like the women, and then you have attractive women to men, and sometimes girls will be like, I'm attracted to this guy, but they don't really know what it is.
No.
You're attracted to pheromone, you say?
Please give a definition. It'll be
It's
brief.
chemical, yeah. It's chemistry.
that triggers innate behavioral response.
Right,
Yeah.
right. There, yeah.
Yeah, you guys. Yeah, for regards to the quiz, you guys should probably answer with regard to the article. So always try to cite the article in your answers.
Wait, is this a quiz?
No, for the test.
Oh, I know.
So you're saying our final is based on this?
Well, hence the
Yes.
questions, right? But
The pheromones number 8,
no, it's 41 to 43F.
41, sorry.
Yeah, 41 all the way to 43F. There's discussions.
Yeah. Yeah, you see, you haven't read it. That's a problem. Yes, you did. Congratulations. And how the plants communicate with each other? Have you seen the flowers? Shying away so they won't be eaten by the cow next door. And the
They put off like a
insects,
bitter flavor, a bitter.
exactly, very bitter. Make them unedible. Here, let's see. Your colleague, there you are.
There's chemical secretions biologically produced to trigger certain behaviors.
Right, like the Pavlovian, secretions. Have you heard of the Pavlovian secretions? When you see a lemon, you are going to secrete more saliva. Yeah, it's famous. Pavlov, yeah, he has discovered that.
They elicit innate behaviors. They elicit innate behaviors. So, let's go to the definition of the book.
What are you aware of?
I remember it talks about like you have like this, what is it, like humans don't have them, there's like some kind of like thing right here that other animals and plants, that other animals have that like, it senses it, but yeah.
It may be that you don't like their pheromones. You don't know why you don't like them. You just immediately distrust them.
Very interesting. Napoleon's glands, you have to read that book about pheromones. Josephine, his wife, he would send her letters asking her not to take a shower, not to wash her underarm because he really enjoyed the smell. It was so strong. So Josephine and Napoleon had a very, very strong attraction. Bravo, bravo, very good. Here, you can patent your own pheromones if you want in the perfume industry. Yeah, you can sell it. There are people who like the smell of hamburgers and they make it.
Yeah, the Burger King made its own
hamburgers, and that's why the
made its
fragrance
cologne.
is actually very strange.
That has a smell of
Read somewhere once that the smell of sex is actually appealing to people because it's part of nature. And even though sometimes it's not, it's not doesn't smell like flowers, because it's part of our nature and everyone interacts with it, it's actually appealing to people.
Oh, do you think if you lift your arm up that people are going to faint for sex or something? I'm kidding. No, what's the next question? What about insects? What do insects do? Yeah, most women do that trick, and the guys have nowhere to run. If one woman is lifting showing off her armpits, well, you should laugh too. You enjoyed the joke, I guess. Okay. What's the next question, please? Would you be so?
Why does the pursuit of economic success have destructive consequences in American culture?
What do you think about this question? It's actually an article in your book. Does it have anything to do with overconsumption and desire for material goods, and does it have to do with that? How do you find that? It's in the reader. I think I even gave you the page. Didn't I? No? Yeah. Please.
I think part of the article was saying that like it removes you from your like natural desires. So like you physically starve yourself or like maybe you self-exercise and try to like take away your cravings for food or something like that. And also that you don't value like family anymore. So it's not as important because it's taking you away from work and productivity and like economic success. And that it like it takes you away from like civic engagement. So like you don't feel any sort of loyalty to like your community, and it's more like your loyalty to yourself and to like other economic things.
Individualism. Exaggerating your individualism versus community. Thank you.
Exaggerating individualism versus community, very good.
What's the
I don't know.
Yes, how many of you were aware of the campaign last year, right here at Westwood and LeConte, the Burger King, the Angry Burger? It was so successful, they brought out a perfume called body odor. It's supposed to attract the opposite sex, as Dr. Lazin was saying. But an Angry Burger? Why an Angry Burger? A Furious Burger? That seemed to be a catchphrase for
Angry Whopper.
to get the followers to follow the latest trend in hamburgers. Elite lore involves manipulating other people. So you don't want to be, you can learn how not to be manipulated. If you're aware of what some of these advertising techniques, a lot of men's magazines advertise, they sell a perfume of, perfume, underarm perfume, women's underarm for men's underarm for women, and women's underarm for men, kind of a generic. So you don't drop pills in the drinks anymore. You spray in the air yourself, and then you're attracted, and you can't miss, they say. This is all crazy, but it seems to be the way of the world. Some more of these questions about that you're reading about here, because these are factors that to take into account. It's a myriad of factors. I mean, this is how many factors here in this book? 40, 51, 41? Good. 56. We could have 150, 200. We could have 1,000 factors. But if you begin to understand the range and the depth. So let's see if you can answer some of the question on
soft police, yes.
Soft police.
What do you think the soft police is? Arresting the thoughts of people, like right in a section, so that people won't have any freedom of thinking. That's in Orwell's 1984. The miniature. What is a miniatures? Yes, please. Yeah.
Ministry was the Ministry of Truth.
Yeah.
And so the thought police was supposed to monitor your thoughts, so you won't think of anything that goes against what the party wanted.
Right. Very good.
And Big Brother's eyes constantly watching you, hence the thought police in the ministry.
Right. The screen. Right. Right. Do you think this is possible in the United States when, in the name of Patriot Act and
Well, not the Patriot Act,
patriotism and security? Could this happen? Because this happened in my country. We had a screen and a video monitor at every corner of the street. Every corner of the street in Bucharest, which is a capital.
Well, here probably not directly, but indirectly. Indirectly, it probably would most probably take place, but not directly in the name of democracy and, per se, freedom of speech.
It is already happening.
I mean, Patriot Act is a...
It's in the name of law enforcement.
Yeah.
Right.
It's in the name of law enforcement.
Right. Recognizing, physiognomies and all that. Yes, please.
I know in New York City, there's over 10,000 cameras on every corner, so it's already happening.
It's real. It's not something, for the author of Orwell just imagined.
But I mean, couldn't you argue though that now like things have changed because of websites like WikiLeaks and
Yeah.
because of kind of open initiative where people are more apt and more able to release things, that there's not one media who's controlling these messages?
Yeah, there is definitely more transparency.
Yeah.
Do you think Julian Assange is a crime? Is guilty of releasing information?
Yes. I think that's secondary though.
Right. It is.
But it's secondary to if they're going to be able to release more information.
Right. But he is in prison. Maybe his followers.
I mean, the people that got him the information are the ones breaking the law. Like, it's questionable whether or not he's breaking the law by
Very questionable.
disseminating it, but it's definitely those that gave him the information that broke the law.
Well, I think the argument is that he didn't break the law by releasing it to the New York Times before he released it to the Guardian. Because if you release it to the New York Times, you're releasing it to a domestic source. You have the Ellsberg case. But if you release it to a foreign press, then you're
Corresponding and giving classified information to the foreign press and the foreign official. So there's a lot of technicalities. It's very vague. It's very gray.
Yeah.
1 second. You can answer, within this context of Julian Assange too, this question here.
He had a conscious choice to release the information. It's not like he was bound by some certain will that he had an obligation to release it. He made a conscious choice. So therefore, in my opinion, that's what made him in the wrong. I don't necessarily guilty or did anything illegal, but he put people's lives in danger.
Right. See, he blew the cover on some CIA officers, yeah. So by U.S. law, it is illegal in the United States to release that. Yeah?
He did.
True?
Wait, but they did retract every single name. He gave it to responsible sources initially. I mean, that would be a counter argument. He's only released 15,000 of the 25,000 or 250,000 able so far.
He has more information to release.
Right, he released it, and the New York Times and the LA Times originally took out the names of people who were harmed. But then it was released to the Guardian overseas, and it went around the world virally. For example, the U.S. Ambassador to Mexico, Carlos Pascual, who was an expert on terrorism and studied and worked in the State Department on Cuba, Colombia, and Venezuela, was sent to Mexico precisely to help win the drug war. Well, he sent a cable that said the Mexican military is incompetent, the government is incompetent in fighting the war, and the army is cowardly. And when that came out, of course, the president of Mexico said, I can't work with this man, he's persona non grata. We just appointed a new man. We don't know whether he'll be we see the United States, we speak as a we here, but we should be saying the U.S. government just appointed Tony Wayne, who has experience with counterterrorism and drug smuggling in Argentina, the Golden Triangle of the three countries, Argentina, Uruguay, and Paraguay. And also, he was ambassador to Argentina at a critical moment. Now, he's coming from being the #2 man in Kabul, where he's been involved in terrorism and narco-trafficking, corruption. And there's a question, is this an insult? The Mexican Congress, some members are raising the question on the Foreign Relations Committee of the Mexican Congress. Is this an insult to Mexico to be sending these kinds of specialists to Mexico who don't know anything about the culture or the history, but are coming in to try to impose their will on the war and impose the U.S.'s Plan Merida, which is offering $400 million over a period of 3 years, but always 3 years late because they can't get the money out. The money doesn't even go to Mexico because the U.S. Congress says Mexico's corrupt. It has to be spent by Americans, American government contracting with private sector in Mexico or sending in American trainers. So it gets very complicated, the results of the WikiLeaks. Well, look, there's some more questions from related directly to the course.
Sure. Would you like to read the next question?
Thank you.
Well, it's right there.
It's hard to read here.